The next point is a point of a disagreement which has an important institutional aspect. The term theater, some object to the term post-dramatic, some object to the term theater. There's a dispute which brings into play the relation between post-dramatic theater and performance, and sometimes on an institutional level between theater studies and performance studies. I remain unconvinced that it makes much sense to give up the term theater and subsume all theatrical practice under the term performance. Whatever we take as the defining criterion of performance, it is obvious that theater, like other advanced artistic practices, has widely adopted elements of performance by now. For example, self-referentiality, deconstructing meaning, exposing the inner mechanism of its own functioning, shift from acting to performing, questioning the basic structure of subjectivity, avoiding or at least criticizing and exposing representation and iterability. So all of these are notions that have commonly been used to specify performance in contradistinctions to theater. But I would say that all of this has been adopted by numerous theatrical practice meanwhile. While inversely, performance has become theatricalized in many ways. Peggy Phelan could still claim that performance was distinct by being never repeatable, that was unique and singular. But now performance artists do reenactments of their own performance practices, and much performance is obviously repeatable and with all its theatrical elements. In view of these developments, of these metamorphoses in theater and in performance, in view of these, it seems to me unproductive, with most important contemporary artistic manifestations, to quarrel about their definition as performance or as theater. And there are some dimensions of post-dramatic theater which simply are not performance, like, for example, installations. Thus, without taking up here the debate about performance, where Rosalie Goldberg, Elinor Fuchs, Peggy Phelan, Philipp Auslander, Josette Ferral, and others have intervened, I want to just state in a summary way that there is, in my view, no need to draw a sharp dividing line between theater and performance. Theory of performance and theory of theater operate on common grounds. Depending on your point of view, you may gain different insights about this common ground. Many a study about the present and also the future of performance, which is, of course, the title by Richard Schechner, are important contributions to the understanding of theater and performance alike, but in no way need they entail subsuming all theater under the notion of performance. It may well be that a European thinker is biased in favor of the notion of theater, because I am confronted with the rich dramatic tradition and the experimental vigor of contemporary theater. But on the other hand, it may also be that in cultures where theater is experienced mostly in its really outdated and/or commercial forms, there may occur a certain distortion of perception, leading to a temptation to dismiss much too quickly theater altogether in favor of performance. Even if theater may be abstractly defined as a branch or subgenre of performative activity in general, it deserves and needs to be studied in its own right, and not only in the light of Richard Schechner's broad spectrum approach. And this applies especially in our times of quick loss of historical consciousness and insistence upon historical reflection and awareness. The term post-dramatic theater has the advantage of pointing to the fact that even today, theater and performance artists alike are confronted with norms and ideals of the dramatic tradition, and also in their own consciousness and practice. They are, if only in a subconscious way, haunted by the backdrop of the drama. And only if in some future time or cultural space there would be no leftover, no trace of memory whatsoever of the dramatic theater, then indeed a notion like post-dramatic would lose its meaning.